Show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today to the 25th Hour Radio Show here on Monster Radio AM 1150. I am your host, Rob Fairless, and on the phone with me today is multi-platinum singer-songwriter J Snare from rock bands Firehouse and Rubicon Cross. CJ, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to join me on the show.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Rob, and I want to thank you very much for having me here. This is very exciting, and I hope everybody out there, I'd like to say hi to you too, and looking forward to seeing you out there on the road this summer.
So, CJ, I like to start off each show giving the listeners a little background information about the day's guest. So bring us back, man. What initially got you interested in music enough that you wanted to pursue it as a career?
You know, I started music when my mom asked me if I wanted to play piano. And you had to know letters and you had to know numbers because I learned to read music. And this is when I was 5 years old. Playing the piano, my feet didn't even touch the ground or the pedals. That's not what I decided. But as I went on through that, I was learning all the classics and things like that. And then I would accompany kids like in grade school and things like that, stuff at church. And I started singing too. I think it was probably around sixth grade, something like that, where I thought this might be what I want to do. And then I saw bands like Alice Cooper and Kiss, Judas Priest, stuff like that, Van Halen, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. So it was about that time, and then I actively started pursuing that through many different venues, playing in bars. You know, as I said, I had sung in choirs and church and school and stuff like that, but then I went out and started performing at the talent shows and was always creating and writing my own stuff. And I had a little cover band in the Carolinas called Max Warrior, and that was with the original Firehouse bass player, Perry Richardson. And he and I used to write songs, and also we did a lot of covers like Judas Priest, AC/DC, Scorpions, Iron Maiden, you know, real heavy stuff at the time.
Now, did you always have the type of personality that getting up and performing in front of large and small groups of individuals didn't bother you, or was that something you had to work on as your career progressed?
Well, that's really a good question. I think that stage presence and how comfortable you feel is something that might be natural, but it's something that you can cultivate also. You can certainly work on this and develop it through doing it. Practice makes perfect is the old adage. And not saying that I'm perfect, but I do feel quite comfortable in front of an extremely large audience or a small audience. I think I worry more about the equipment, you know, messing up or something like that. It's not the fear of people at all. And that really helps you in your life, too. If you can get up in front of a small group and speak, if you can get up in front of a large group and do what you do, you'll find that it's really easy to make friends that way, too. It's really too easy to be in social environments, and just when I'm on stage, I'm kind of like the master of ceremonies. So when I go to parties and things like that, I'll often go up to people and say, hey, have you two met? All right. Or maybe we should all introduce ourselves and things like that. It's just really easy to break the ice that way. And I think that's an important part of being not only just a well-rounded social person, but also a good front man. Has to have that quality, I think.
So, you know, of course, everyone knows Firehouse. All your greatest hits from Firehouse. As soon as a Firehouse song comes on the radio, you recognize it immediately. And you touched on this a few minutes ago. Again, man, would you take us back? I get a kick out of hearing the origins of great bands. And it's kind of like hearing the origins of superheroes, man. I just can't get enough of it. How did the band itself form, and how did you guys first land that big record deal?
Well, we were all at a science museum seeing a exhibit on radioactive spiders when one bit all of us. No, all right. No, seriously, all joking aside, as I said, you know, that was something that I really wanted to do early on. And when the guys in Firehouse, which then used to be called White Heat, all got together, we were like-minded. So everybody was in this for a career. We wanted to make this our life's work. And that was step one, because I don't know how many people have had band practices and things like that where musicians don't show up or, you know, they're not really serious. They don't know their parts and everything like that. Well, we didn't have that. And we started creating together, and we started writing together. And I guess our first boost of confidence was shortly after we'd done our first demos. Bill and I had written a lot of stuff, Bill Leverty, that is, and we got the tape backstage at the Slippery When Wet concert to John Bon Jovi. And he sent out for the guys, said, bring them backstage. And he said, I'm going to be, I forget where they were, somewhere in Virginia, because I wasn't there. This is the reason he rescheduled it. I was in North Carolina, and he said, get the singer and meet me in 2 days at, like, Meriwether Post or something. It was somewhere around still the Virginia, D.C. area. And we went backstage on that second show, and he said, this is the best tape I've gotten on tour, the entire Slippery When Wet tour. And then he asked, who's the singer? And I sheepishly raised my hand, and he shot me the bird, stuck his middle finger up at me, and he said, F you, you sing your ass off. So that was kind of like the first break when we knew, hey, man, maybe we do have something a little bit different that'll push us onward. Now, I remember there was an ongoing thing after that, and John had come to see us several times, get up on stage and jam with the band in clubs in North Carolina. There was actually a big hurricane that took the power out in Charlotte for a long time where the band was living for about 10 days. And he had brought people down from different record companies for us to showcase for. And, you know, nothing ever worked out. It was after John's participation in with the band that we had gotten a record deal with Epic Records. And it was really funny. We were playing in Charlotte, a little club. Normally we would have packed the place out, but there was a huge ice storm that night. And a guy named Michael Kaplan flew in to see us. He loved the band, even there were only about 10 people that probably lived within walking distance from there, because it was covered in ice. The roads were just, you couldn't travel them. And he was there, and even though there wasn't a big crowd that time, and we thought, that's it, we're done, we're screwed, he saw the talent, and he signed us, and the first record was released September 11th, 1990.
Now, had you had any type of music at all on the radio before Firehouse? I mean, I'm curious if you remember where you were the first time you heard yourself being broadcast.
Yes, Charlotte, North Carolina, WKRQ, QRK, one of those. Yeah, well, no, they had a song at the time. They had a show at the time called The Hot 8 at 8. And this is another one of the reasons that the planets started lining up for Firehouse. On that Hot 8 at 8 show, we became, which is a request show of local music, we became the longest running song at number one. And it was a song from our first album that made it there called Home Is Where the Heart Is. And that thing was on there forever. And, of course, the radio stations report to one another, and the word got out to the record labels, you know, this is happening in North Carolina. So we had them come down and see us. And because of that, we were packing out all the venues there as well. So it was really an old school, homegrown kind of earthy origin story.
Now, I imagine once you started to become internationally known, your world sort of changed. Was being a bona fide rock star everything you dreamed it would be? I mean, was it tougher than you thought to handle all the touring, videos, interviews that go along with being in the spotlight?
Well, I must say, it's great work if you can get it. And you definitely should, but that doesn't mean that it's not exhausting. It doesn't have its share, you know, things that can wear on you and that are taxing and exhausting. However, it's really difficult to complain about having what I think is one of the best jobs you could possibly have. Yes, there are ups and downs. Yes, there's an awful lot of travel. Is it everything that we thought it would be? I think it was much more than we ever thought it would be. Once you learn the business, sometimes you can get a bit jaded, and it can take a bit of the magic out of it. And I think that's part of what it is to be a real rock star or a real successful musician, is to keep that magic going, to make sure that when you go on stage, the audience knows that you're having a good time and that you're happy to be there, and that's contagious, and you convey that message to them as well. Because actually, they're buying a ticket or they're coming to see you to escape their everyday routine lives and whatever the magic might have left for them. So they want to see the magic show, and that's our job. So you can't complain.
Yeah,
it's
man.
really good.
So here we are, man, 25 years later. You guys are you in or are you about to start your 25th anniversary tour?
We're in it. We just played, let's see, we played in Texas, we played in Houston and Dallas, Fort Worth. We were just in Ohio. We're on our way to South Carolina and then New York, upstate New York, and then Colorado and New Mexico. And we just pretty much go, go, go. Now, on the first record that ever came out, we toured actually for 12 months consecutively.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill and I wrote the second album, Hold Your Fire, on the road in the back of a tour bus in hotel rooms. And so when we finally stopped that tour, we went right into the same studio we had done the first record in, the Firehouse record. And within 3 months, we were back out on the road with a world premiere video of Reach for the Sky on MTV. And we went out for another 17 months consecutively. So touring and Firehouse kind of go hand in hand. We've kind of turned it into a little bit something different now. It's evolved over the years, whereas we used to be just out forever. Now we get the best of both worlds because we do what are called in the business fly dates. And the fly dates mean that you don't take all of your equipment with you. You take your guitars, take your your backdrops and things like that. But the company provides everything else there for you, and you fly. And you can put any 2 or 3 cities together that you can fly in between for that amount of time, and then you come home. An example would be we fly out on a Thursday, do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show, we're home on a Monday, and then we do it again. So that's the new face of touring for Firehouse lately. So it enables us to actually never stop.
Now, like I mentioned a second ago, this is the 25th anniversary tour of Firehouse. That's a long time, man. Do you still feel that same rush of energy when you walk out on stage that you got when you first started performing?
Yes. The answer is yes. That's probably the most fun part of it. I mean, you ask me about some of the things that we've learned. I've learned that my job is way more travel, hotels, airplanes, things like that, than it is actual time on stage. So that's the reward. That's the payoff when we actually get to get up there. And if everything's working properly, all the equipment's right, everything's sounding good to you, the audience is into it, you get that energy that's in the room. It's tangible. There's nothing like that. That is every time we go out on stage a constant reminder of why we started doing this in the first place.
Now, are you seeing a wide range as far as age groups coming out to your shows these days? Are the fans that have been down since day one bringing out their kids maybe to experience an awesome Firehouse performance? Are you seeing that type of thing happening?
Yes, and that's a great question because, the first time around, who would have ever thought that? It was all people that were our age or maybe a little bit younger, a little bit older. You had a sort of wide demographic, but not as much as now because people do expose their kids or friends or whatever to the Firehouse music, Firehouse sound, and it has continued to just grow and grow and grow demographically from the people who originally listened to us to people who are still now just hearing us for the first time, or maybe the second time, which is even better because then it proves that they liked it and they're coming back. So the audience is growing.
So absolutely, man. So what about you as an individual outside of music? Take music completely out of the picture. How do you enjoy your free time? Any hobbies or other outside interests that you're involved in?
Well, I'm a Florida guy, so I really, really enjoy being outdoors. And I have 2 little boys here, too, and we go and do all kinds of stuff. And we take advantage of the area that we're in, which is I live about 10 minutes from Disney World. So we get the Florida resident annual passes, and we get to go in and out of there. Not like a lot of the people who are not from here. They got to get it all in, and one day, every day they got to get their money's worth. Yeah. We can go in for surgical strikes. We'll pick 2 things, and we get this thing called Fast Pass, which allows you to jump the lines. You don't have to stand in them. And we just go 1, 2. We'll do that. We grab a bite to eat. We might explore a little park kind of area or something, and we're out. of course, we do a lot of swimming down here. We ride our bikes, and it's very, very active and everything. I like to cook a lot too.
Oh yeah, what's your
Cooking
signature
to me,
dish?
I don't have a signature dish. I'll do uh, clams linguine, and I'll do a chicken masala. Now that's on my Italian side, and I love to do Thai and Asian, and I love to fuse a lot of things together too. And I like to make a lot of really interesting combinations of things that you wouldn't normally put together. And I'm not talking about I like to cook, and I'm making steak out on the grill with baked potatoes, which I can do. I mean, I go down to the farmer's market that's across the street from my house on Sundays and hand pick organic vegetables and fruits and the meats, and I get the stuff that I want to make, and I do these. I actually have a published recipe in a book called Mashed Potatoes.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's Simon and Schuster. And now I'm really thinking about doing my own cookbook
Yeah,
because
man.
dude, I just love it. It's cool because it's like music. It's like, hey, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you do this part this long, and it comes out just right, and then people consume it, and it's gone. It's kind of like music in your ear. It's intangible. You hear it, and you're like, oh, that's cool. You consume it, it's gone.
Hey man, that sounds like a good idea to me. That would be cool if you did something like that.
Well, I'm working on it right now, speaking to management to see where we may go with that idea.
Now, are you a social media fan? Do you use that as a way to connect with fans, or are you old school, kind of like me, and kind of find it hard to get into?
No, I do use social media. Actually, when we were touring Southeast Asia in 2010, when I first jumped on board with that, a friend of mine said, man, you really need to do this for your fans around the world and everything like that. So I have a personal page, and then I have a fan page, and, of course, Firehouse has a page. I don't find it difficult. I find that sometimes when I look, it can drag me down because I like to surround myself with positive people, positive energy, thoughts, things like that. You see a lot of negativity coming up there, so a lot of times when I see that, I'll just be like, unfollow.
I understand exactly what you mean, man. Social media can be a blessing and it can be a curse at the same time.
I agree, and that's like a lot of things in life, you know? True.
So, CJ, before we wrap things up here, I always give the guest the opportunity to sort of lead us out. Is there anything you would like to say to all your fans out there listening right now who have supported you throughout the years by buying your albums and coming to your concerts?
No, you guys can. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Of course, yes. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here, and we're very grateful. I mean, gratitude is the first word that comes to mind. You mentioned at the very top of the conversation when you were introducing me that I sing and write for a band called Rubicon Cross as well, and people have been very supportive of that too, and they've been inquiring about. Are you going to put another record out? We had great success with that, and because of the people's request, Chris Green and I are getting ready to get together and write another record for that, actually. So that's something to probably look for in 2018. So thank you all for all your support. We see you. We see you. We see you on our social media. We see you out live, and it's really wonderful that when we have the time and we're not flying away to the next city, that we get to shake hands with you guys and, let you know in person how thankful we really are. Just do bear in mind, sometimes, we play the late show and our tour manager is escorting us out as quickly as possible, and we're not trying to ignore you. It's just that we have to get up in 3 hours, go fly to the next city and do it again. But if you're listening to this, understand that you're in our hearts. You are our hearts. You are the heart and soul and the backbone of Firehouse. If it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be here, and this is why we keep doing it, too, for all of you. Thanks.
Well, everyone, make sure you go to www.firehousemusic.com to get all the latest 25th anniversary tour date information. CJ, it's been a pleasure talking to you today, sir. Good luck with the tour.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Rob. And like I said at the top, I'm glad that you had me on the show. And I hope maybe that anyone who hasn't heard Firehouse before might hear this interview and come on out and see us when we're in your town.